Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing. And yes, I'm delighted to be we are predicting Dan Azeez v Joshua Buatsi, and I'm delighted to be joined with Andrew Deeker from Anything Blows. And yes, a pleasure getting you on as always.
It is, Sam. It is great to be back in 2024. In February, the second month, we only had one boxing event that I can believe is major, unless Matchroom Box or The Zone,
Two.
or Queensbury.
I
Was
would
it
say
just Casey's
two.
fight, or was there any other events that I've missed out on?
Jonas Meyer
Oh, of course,
and then Butterbiev, however
Callum
everyone
Smith.
says it.
Yeah,
Smith, yeah.
Beterbiev, Beterbiev. Yeah, there's different pronunciations, but yes, yeah, those two cards, and then obviously last weekend we were at Casey's fight, and yeah, glad to
Mm.
be back on you. And I am just gonna change my name to Anything Blows on there if I can. If not, I'll just leave it as it is. Oh, I'm gonna try to change it because I didn't write it. But yeah, continue. Sorry, I'm digressing.
Yes, so the first fight is 6 rounds in the bantamweight division. Of course, Francesca Hennessy 2-0 v Laura Bellin Valabietto, who's 5-5 with one draw. Of course, Fran's 2-0 with one knockout, I believe.
You're correct in saying that. And another Argentinian. So she just fought an Argentinian in her last fight. Another Argentinian, England versus Argentina. Hopefully, maybe that happens one day for a World Cup final. But yeah, no, can't help but put a smile on my face talking about Francesca. She is a superstar. Obviously, the daughter of Mick Hennessy, the brother of Michael Hennessy. Big shout out to them too. Big shout out to Bradley Ski. Her professional debuts, regardless, men, women. It was one of the best professional debuts I've seen. Then you go on to her second fight. She lit up in Bournemouth. That ring walk has gone social media viral, got hundreds of thousands of views, and I can't wait to see what she holds tonight. I've got a win in this fight. I never want to put a prediction when you've got a personal attachment or you're just excited to see someone fight. But I want to say fourth round TKO, fifth round, but I don't want to put pressure on her. But I do see her going 3-0 with two knockouts tonight. And if not, it'll be a beautiful 6 round war, and she'll just display it. Not war, because she'll just make it look
Technical.
astonishing, and she's got this on.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Francesca. She's looking good. She looks sharp when she fights. Of course, it's a bit of a step up. Of course, this person who she is fighting, Laura,
Leave
um,
5-5-1, is it?
yeah, and she took Chloe Watson 8 rounds, who we know is a very good fighter as well.
Mm.
So I wouldn't say it's going to be a hard night, but a sort of tough night, and tough to like get this person out of there because she's only been stopped the once. Um, it'll be tough. I mean, the opponent's tough, but I think she'll win it quite comfortably. You know what I mean by that.
Yeah, you're good, bro. And like we said earlier, the last Argentinian she fought was really tough, durable. She was getting a little bit tired in the later round. She did fall to the ground, and I did think they could have called it at one point. But yeah, no, these, as we say with the men, the South American, we know Berman Sanchez, they're all tough, but
Hmm.
you don't really have many journey women in boxing. So yeah, and 5-5, so it's an even record. So it's not a journey woman. I wouldn't call it that.
I'm saying Fran on point 60 to 54.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a knockdown or two in there. And I'm hoping for a stoppage, but I'm, as always, just another astonishing performance. I'm 3-0 in Francesca Hennessy's book and the Billion Dollar Babies book.
Hmm. And of course, Jamie TKV, who's
Mm.
5-1 against somebody from Ukraine called Konvia Dobzhenko, something like that. We'll go on that. 10-14.
Yeah.
Of course, Jamie coming off a defeat to Igor Masiano at York Hall. Unfortunately, he never got going in that fight. As much as it hurts to say, I think you will agree as well. But he didn't get going in his last fight. But we have seen his power, of course, when he fought Armstrong. Don't Yeah, that was a great fight from him. And Buzlow, he's got power in his hands, and I think everyone has an off night, and everyone has a bogey fighter, and I mean, lots of opponent changes last time, and he was, in my opinion, he may have overlooked Igor. I think we said it in our fight card review that we did. But yeah, I do expect TKV to get back to winning ways tonight. Of course, he's got a tough Ukrainian opponent who's 10 wins, 7 wins by KO, and plus the guy's never been stopped in his 14 defeats. And this is, believe it or not, this is the person who stopped Matty Harris
Wow.
on a Wasserman show. And
Yeah, I remember
I
that.
really rated Matty as well. I still do. But I mean that was a big surprise. So he'll be hungry. I mean, of course, his last fight he lost on unanimous decision to Tom Swartz, who fought Tyson Fury.
Hmm.
But yeah, he's no mug, and he was the first man to take Katuma the distance as well. So no mug at all, is he?
No, tough opponent. Again, most fans will read into the record. I love how you've broken it down there. I love how you've gone into detail. And I've just been looking at my phone for the last 2-3 minutes trying to pronounce the surname. I'm going to try to say Konstantin Dovbishenko. I think that's all right. I'm just going off of like Ukrainian footballers. But no, of course, tough opponent. You bring it up to mind. I completely forgot that he beat Matty Harris, and then all the other fights that you've mentioned there, taking Itama to a distance. Itama 7-0. As I said, if Itama was on small horse scenes, he could have been 20-0 within that year. But with the amount of backing behind Queensbury, they know what they're doing with him, and they're investing rightly. Jamie, look, I was there 48 hours before, and Jamie was meant to fight. I can't remember the name, but I think it was Amir or Amir, like a guy that
Adelaide fought.
Adelaide fought. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
He main evented that night. I remember. I think it was back in September. However, look, I don't want to say he overlooked him, but he came in with two days notice, not even 2 or 3 days notice.
Yeah.
He's flown in. He was a former Brazilian heavyweight champion. I believe at the time 11-1 with 10 wins via way of knockout.
He's good.
Yeah. And I spoke to everyone else, spoke to other heavyweights, and they said Jamie didn't win a round. And of course, did it put a spanner in the works for the Fraser Clark fight? Yes, it did. And again, that's where you go overlooking. Was he looking for that Fraser Clark fight? Jamie's a great human being. Jamie's a great fighter, and he carries himself immensely as a sportsman, as a professional, and which so many other people do. It's a bad night in the office, and it was a bad cut. Do I believe if he didn't have the cut? Unfortunately, to keep it real, he wasn't doing the best on the night, and it wasn't his night. He was losing the 4 or 5 rounds before it got stopped. However, I believe this is a forfeit. Jamie's going to learn, and like we said with our mate Alfie Gaskin and Sonny Warren and Mark Nielsen told me he would have learned more fighting 10 journeymen. He would have learned more in that one defeat than fighting 10 journeymen. So I've got Jamie via, and is this an 8-round contest? Correct me if I'm wrong.
6.
No, 6. Yeah,
I'll say
I see a
59
decision.
55. I'll say 59 55. I think he might have a little bit of a slow round, but I reckon he'll win 59 55. I don't think he'll stop him because this guy's never been stopped, and I've named some good fighters. And I think if TKV wins this, get yourself back into that domestic scene with Dakers, or maybe go for a southern area, and try and get yourself in that mix. Or maybe is Eagle rematch maybe down the pipeline. I wouldn't say go for it just yet, but I still think there's good fights out there for TKV, providing he wins tonight. It's a must win. But yes, I'm saying 59 55. Do you agree with that scorecard? Or
100%. I'd definitely give Constantine a round. It depends how Jamie starts. I'd like him to come out all guns blazing. And look, it's going to be hard to get the knockout, but if he puts on a spectacle, immense performance, and even gets a stoppage, he's made a statement. But it's the way he wins tonight, and it's not just about the scorecard itself. I do agree. You could see a 59-55. So I'm going to agree with you on that one. I'd like to say 60-54, but I'm going to give the other guy credit, and Constantine deserves it. So 59-55, I'll agree with you on that one.
Mm-hmm. And next up, we've got everyone is talking about this man, Ben Whittaker, 5-0. He's fighting Khalid Grandella over 8 rounds in the light heavyweight division. Of course, Ben's fights Greg. His main 3 wins, I would say, is Jordan Grant, Vladimir Bajeski, and Dredhaja. How do you say that?
Dredai, yeah. It's an Albanian name, so I know how to pronounce that. But yes, Ben Whittaker, Wow, that last, oh, it was a spectacle, and that was just, and they sparred beforehand, and you know we love a sparring story in unbox. Sounding like I'm promoting them, but no, everyone loves a sparring story. Of course, it's not the same as Chris Billam-Smith and Lawrence Okoli, but yeah, and wow, yeah, commiserations to Stephen because he's out of Bushy as well with Josh Burnham and a lot of other great guys, but was he dared to be great and he fell short, but look, it's hard to say a great performance when you've been knocked out like that, but he gave it his all and he went out on his shield.
I agree personally, and of course he's got a very tough opponent in Khalid Grandella, who I think that's my best pronunciation. But yes, he's took a tomb of the distance. Dan Azeez, Ezra Taylor, and Zach Parker. I mean, they're four good names, aren't they? And of course,
Yeah.
he did cause Ezra Taylor a bit of, I wouldn't say issues, but he did know he was there. He'll come to have a go. I think it would actually be quite a big statement. That's just my opinion. If Ben can stop him, because you've seen Zach Parker stopped him, Carol and Ezra haven't. I think it'll be a tough night. Like it'll be tough to get him out of there. I'm expecting more of Ben to show his skills. I think he needs to be patient tonight and don't rush his work and don't get frustrated, because this guy is tough, his opponent. But I do expect Ben to get a stoppage, whether that's early. I can't really see him going that early. I'm thinking maybe round 4 to 6. No, yeah, 4 to 6. I reckon a knockout for Ben Whittaker. But yeah, Ben is looking at being like fast run to a world title, and I would say maybe if you win this, maybe fight a domestic, maybe fight an English title, and then go and see where you're at. You know, I don't think rush him just yet, because he needs more of a challenge, and I think this one, Khalid will be in there for a bit until I think Ben will just catch him.
Yeah, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, the names aren't springing to mind at the moment. But apart from the two in the main event tonight, Dan Azeez, Joshua Buatsi, Lyndon Arthur, Anthony Yard, Callum Smith, I think he's just edging around that light heavyweight spot. And look, yeah, commiserations one more time, Stephen. It was a beautiful knockout in the last, and I don't see how you make it even better. But it's Ben Whittaker at the end of the day, and I truly do see Ben leveling up and getting an even beautiful and even more spectacular knockout. Although that last one's hard to beat, I know it's what's in him. And I've got him winning via. I don't want to. It either goes two ways. It's either a third round early knockout or a seventh round knockout. He's tired him out and he's got him out, and it'll be another brutal finish where he's got him on the ground and he can't pick himself up. So respect to both men, but I do have Ben Whittaker winning this fight via knockout. And I don't see it going all 8 rounds.
And then you've got Caroline for the IBO lightweight title. You've got Caroline Dubois 8-0 v Miranda Reyes 7-1-1. Yes, Caroline, of course. I think she last won in September, was it, on that show of the Breakthrough? You still there? Oh, he's frozen on us. Still there? Hello? Hello? Yes, we had a bit of technical difficulties, but yes, we're back. And what I was saying before my internet crashed was the IBO World Lightweight title, Caroline Dubois 8-0 v Miranda Reyes 7-1-1. I'll let you talk about it first.
Wow, yeah, another class fight. I love to see two females on the undercard, and obviously a world title fight being on the undercard. So there's 3 titles, and we'll get to the other 2 titles eventually in a moment. These are, as the casuals would say, or the people that aren't interested in the sport would say, these are the fights you're tuned in for. But like we said, it's a stacked card. You got to watch from Francesca Hennessy all the way to the top. And here's where majority of the viewers will tune in on Sky Sports, because you have the early prelims on YouTube and everyone's going to tune in on Sky Sports for this. Caroline Dubois, wow, Oh my God, I got to watch her on June, the night Anis Taj fought Vidal. The rematch, I was so emotional that night. So I was just so locked into Anis and just everything else. So I didn't have a second to take it in. But after everything was said and done and the fight ended, just took a breather, took it back, relaxed, watched as a fan. And as I said, first and foremost, we're always going to be fans. It's just so locked in tunnel vision. And whoops, sorry about that. That's my alarm. Like I said, it was a special occasion to watch Caroline Dubois. I've heard so many things about Caroline Dubois. I ended up interviewing her back in September, but just to watch her, sweet Caroline, she's vicious, she's brutal, she's slick, she's so crisp in how she fights, but she is special. And like I said, I see her going all the way to the top, and this is her first world title of many to come. And I believe it's a 10-round contest. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think they've changed the rules for this one. But yeah, Caroline Dubois, I see another outstanding masterclass, and then soon to be followed by Adam Azeez and then the main event. So I've got Caroline by decision.
I mean, I'm not sure this about Miranda. Never seen her really fight, but I've heard she seems up for it. I've seen the weigh in and the press conference, and she seems up for it. And there was a bit of the face off. I think Miranda was talking to her. I can't remember what was said, but I'm very impressed with what Caroline's doing. She looked amazing last time out, and I can just only see her rebuilding on that, and I can see her winning on unanimous decision, like 198, 99, 91 sort of scorecards like that.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly wide, and I can see yeah, a good bit of action from
And
her.
that's nothing to go against her opponent. Obviously, we don't know much about her other than her record. I haven't seen her fight before, but it's not to say anything bad about her. It's just to say Caroline is that class that she always makes it so wide on the scorecards.
Mm-hmm. Yes, next up's the European Championship fight at lightweight. Adam Azeez 10-0 v Enoch Paulson. Of course, Adam 7 knockouts. I would say his top wins are Ryland Charlton, Santos Reyes, and Frank Magine, who he beat last time out. He looks, can't lie, he is just what you call a great fighter, a good up and rising prospect. I think they've done decent with building him up, building his records. I think his last 3 fights have been getting harder as they go up. I think that was a good performance against that Frankie Pagine, who is a very good, tough opponent in himself and had some big wins on his resume. I do believe Enoch is mandatory because he was always going to fight the winner. But yeah, I don't know what to expect from Enoch. I think he'll be up for it. I mean, he seems like he said something in the way in that Adams, they're rushing him too fast or something along those lines, saying he'll knock him out. And I can't wait for this one. I think it'll be a good fight. But I think Adam is looking for the world title, which I think slow him down a bit. I know, you know, you want him to be the youngest champion, sort of, you know, build him up quick through the ranks. But I think just slow it down a little bit, you know, win this, maybe defend one more time and then see what's up. Maybe 2 or 3 more fights before you can look at an IBO world title. At this moment in time, I can't see him beating people at the top level at the moment. That's just at the moment. Not sure about you. You might disagree, but Adam, just slow him down a bit. He is good. He is fast. Just slow him down that touch a bit. But yeah, if he wins this, 2 more defenses, then just go to the world scene. Yeah, I'm saying Adam in 6 rounds.
Yeah, like you said there, going off of his last fight in Wolves, there was a lot of respect between him and Paulson. I believe the surname is. If I haven't butchered that. It was all respect. It was all nice. I don't know what triggered him to get. I don't say Adam was emotional, just what fired up a little bit. Like I said, ignite that fire inside of him. And he said to him, he kept touching his body and said, "Here, this is where you're going to go down." And yeah, I could see him going down in 6. In my opinion, Adam Azeez is a golden boy. He's one of the best prospects to come out of Britain. He's an unreal fighter. Love what he does. Love the fan base he has. Love the hype he has behind him because the hype is real and he's a star in the making. Like you said, Campbell Hatton's going for his first central title. Of course, Campbell Hatton, I don't know if he's going between super lightweight or lightweight. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But like I said, he definitely needs to mix it up with the best in Britain. He doesn't need to, because I think he's one of the best in the lightweight division in Britain. World level, like you said, you don't want to rush him, and I do agree with that. But I agree, he's not far off it, and he could become world level very, very shortly and soon. And all the best to Adam tonight. And again, I can't wait to witness greatness. I've never seen Adam Azeez live. I was meant to see him live, obviously, at your call on that Vidal Riley night when he fought Anis Taj, but that collapsed and it ended up being a different main event. But can't wait to finally see him, and can't wait to be there in flesh. And now we move on to the main event. So I'm going to go over 6-round knockout.
Oh yeah, so you're saying
Yeah,
the
I
same
agree.
as me in 6.
Yeah, within 6. I'll call 6 on the dot, but I see it being less. If not, I think this is a one where there's a massive statement on the biggest stage, co-main event. Dan Azeez, Buatsi, going to be
You mean main
televised on
event this
Sky
one?
Sports. Pardon?
Main event, Dan Azeez v Buatsi.
No, of course, but I'm just saying co-main event for Adam.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No,
Yes, this one's for the British and Commonwealth titles. I do believe Dan Azeez has them both. We've sort of gone similar predictions, so maybe we might disagree with this one. We've gone
Okay.
Dan Azeez 20-0, Joshua Buatsi 17-0. Dan, of course, is, I would say, some of his big wins. I would say Shakan Pitters, Rocky Fielding, Hosea Burton, Thomas Faviev, and last time out, this is Dan's last fight, was back in July last year, and he fought Khalid Grandella, who's fighting Ben Whittaker, and he beat him over 8 rounds. But yes, you've got Joshua Buatsi, 17 wins with 13 knockouts. Of course, big wins, Ryan Ford, Dos Santos, Bolotniks, Craig Richards, and of course, last time out, he fought Howell Steppen in May.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll give it to you first. Would you wait? Hang on. Would you? Let's put a question. I'll put a question out there for you. Would you say that Buatsi's got the stronger resume of the two at this moment in time?
Oh, that is a hard question to say. Potentially, the only thing I would say why Azeez is, I was going to say Azim for a second. No, the reason Azeez is there is because he's been in the limelight in terms of light heavyweights in Britain. Of course, Lyndon Arthur won the IBO world title, but he's fallen short against Bivol. Yard went to chase greatness around a year ago, last January. Callum Swift just chased greatness. Buatsi, I'm nothing against him. Just so many people slated him online for that last performance in Birmingham. So that's why Azeez, again, I'm doing the same thing. I was going to call it Azim. But Azeez is definitely has a spotlight and the limelight in Britain. If you go back on it, if you would have asked me a few years ago, even back in October, yes, I would have said Buatsi 100%. I just feel like Azeez has fought everyone. He's gone to Italy. He's won the European.
The thing is, what Azeez has done, I like it because he started off at small hall, Southern area, English, British, Commonwealth, European. I like it when you go through especially the small hall route and see where you get up to. And
it's traditional. You don't see it more in this day and age of boxing.
Yeah, and that's what I like about Dan Azeez. I mean that Shakan. I've been impressed with Dan. He's looked strong, especially against Fielding. I know Fielding was like past his best.
Yeah,
it was a good win for him against Shakan, unanimous. Dan can box. But in this fight, Dan Azeez needs to make it a war. He can't try and box Buatsi, as Joshua is more the longer fighter. I think he's taller than Dan by.
What's the height difference? Is Dan 5'10" or is he 6'? What is he?
I'm not too sure, but I'm sure Buatsi's taller. And
yeah, by a few inches.
Buatsi's more of a long range sort of fighter. He not in a rude way, but he does fight slow paced. He slows the pace down. He needs to try and keep Azeez at range. Don't let him in. If it is a dogfight, then Azeez wins. Because Buatsi can do a dogfight, but I think Azeez, he's got a different animal. I think they know each other in sparring. I think Buatsi could win by unanimous decision if he sticks to his range. It's whether Buatsi can keep Azeez off for the 12 rounds. That's the thing.
Yeah, 100%. Look, it has to be made a what? In the original one, I think it was Azeez, like, not necessarily. I favored Buatsi a lot, and I feel like Azeez had all the momentum going into it. Now I wouldn't say it's died down. I think that it died down for a moment, and people didn't like how it got collapsed because no one believed the injury. Who knows? But I'm going to believe it, and I do believe it because I don't feel anyone pulls out. And like I said, what is a few months going to do? But Azeez, I think should win, but I favour Buatsi. Going on my final prediction, I genuinely want to stay on the fence for this one and just enjoy it for what it's going to be. I'm not going to pick a side, but if I had to make a prediction, I'm favouring Buatsi, but I would like to see Azeez win. But I think Buatsi has it. But
On
you
point.
understand what I mean. My mind's saying Buatsi, but my heart says Azeez.
So are you saying Buatsi on point if you have to edge to one?
If I'm making an educational guess and an unbiased guess, yes, I'm going with Buatsi, and I'm saying Buatsi's a favourite in this one. If I'm saying who I would like to win and who I'd like to see put on a great performance and get the win, and who it does more for, it does more for the both of them. But I say Azeez.
But
It's a
yes,
hard one. It is a hard one.
it
I've just got to be
is.
honest.
And of course, you've gone Buatsi, and I thought you would. I thought we would disagree, and we have. I think that I don't think Joshua can keep him off for the 12 rounds. I think Dan will eventually get to him. Maybe the first three could be frustrating for Dan, and then I think he could come on strong. I think Dan will stop him. But that's towards the back end of the fight. If I have to pick a round, I'm not gonna pick a round, but I'm gonna say 8, 9, or 10. So 8 to 10. That's what I'm saying for a technical knockout for Dan Azeez.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pick on this one just because I just want to enjoy it. And like I said, I could generally not give you a genuine prediction. All I want to say is a 12-round war and all the best to both men.
Yeah, same. I'm a big fan of both, but I've gone with Dan Azeez 8 to 10. It's tough because I'm a fan of both, but if making a prediction, I'm just gonna say Azeez 8 to 10. But yes, thank you for your time. Make sure you subscribe to Anything Blows, guys.
Subscribe to SWS as always, and thank you, Sam. And we've got another prediction coming for today.
Thank you for your time.